Back for part 2 this week is the lovely and talented Jennifer Brookley, who is also my dear friend, and we could have kept going and on and on and on. She's a lovely guest. If you haven't listened to part 1, obviously go back, do that. And if you haven't found her on socials, obviously go back, do that. And let's get on with the show. Oh, hi. You're listening to Service from Hell, a podcast featuring people that are currently in customer service positions or the lucky few that got out and all of the good, bad, and infinitely irritating things that go along with that work. I'm actor and comic Kate Gaffney, and I'm uniquely qualified to discuss this as I used to work at a very busy and very popular comedy club in Los Angeles. And at least one of you listening right now has probably grabbed me and told me you're ready to order when I was running around like a crazy person. So let's eat. Okay. So you living in Long Beach, 3 a.m.
3 a.m. Cops come, knock on my door, rap. I'm like, show me your badge. Okay, fine. I open the door. They're like, hey, we had an incident outside. I look outside. There's ambulance. There's police cars all over. Did you see what happened? I'm like, I don't know. What happened?
3 a.m. Of course not. I was in bed.
I am in college. But I happened to be in bed at the time. And I was like, no, I didn't see anything. What happened? Guy got his head stomped in on the curb like
American History X
style, right outside. So the next morning I go out, there's like blood all over everywhere. The curb. I mean, it was like gnarly. So turns out I don't think I lived in the best of neighborhoods.
Yeah, a curb stomp is a real specific choice.
Very not good. But did I do any research about it? No. You know why? None of my business.
Yeah. You also don't want to Google history that's like, how fast do you die with curb stomping?
What happens to the teeth? That's what I always wonder about. What happens to teeth? Do they go into the head or they fall out? I don't know. Sorry.
On.
These
Move
are
on.
the things I ask about.
Move on.
Which is terrible. Like, really terrible.
That is terrible.
It's terrible.
Okay, so getting signatures was your least favorite. What's the weirdest thing you've been asked to do whilst on the clock?
Ooh. The weirdest thing. Go make out with my manager in the freezer.
Now, I want to be careful here because I think I already know this story, so I need to act like I don't know. So let's see. You don't have to say where.
This is not.
It's not where I think.
Jamba Juice.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I'm getting you confused with someone that had the SEX in. Okay, that wasn't you.
Definitely not.
Not you. Okay.
No. No.
What's the weirdest thing you've been asked to do whilst on the clock?
What is the weirdest thing I've asked someone?
No. Keep going. No. So you were asked to make out at Jamba Juice. I was asked to make out
with my manager at Jamba Juice.
How much older was he than you?
I mean, he was like around my age, probably a couple years older.
I was hoping it wasn't like a 35-year-old man who's like, hey,
I mean,
teenager.
I was all for it. I was like, heck yes.
Yeah, making out.
But I was like, it feels weird in a freezer.
No, but it's really fun.
But it's
like it's
cold.
heightened. Yeah, because you're gonna freeze your ass off. Literally.
Yeah,
there goes your butt again.
There went my butt.
Okay, so how long did y'all go in there and make out for?
I mean, until the next customer. I mean, who's keeping track when you're making out with somebody?
Kate? The first time I made out with a guy, I fell asleep, but I was very much aware of how long we made out.
Wait, you obviously were not aware if you fell asleep.
No, I know. I definitely was not. Wait, so were you guys dating, or was it just like you guys were bored?
We weren't dating.
Was it just boredom and he was like, you want to go make out in the freezer?
Yeah, I think we were vibing.
I miss those ages.
We were vibing, and it was like easy and
a little flirt here, a little flirt there.
Yeah. No, I was feeling myself at that time. Like I joined the crew team. I was a coxswain in college.
Girl, that is so hard. Y'all are up at 4 a.m. I lived with a girl on the crew team.
Yeah,
you guys are up before everyone.
Oh yeah, we were on the lake at 5 a.m. And I was in the ultimate Frisbee team. I was living my best life. Yeah. I had joined Weight Watchers. I lost like 25 pounds. Like, I mean, I was living my best life. So I was like, freezer? Heck yeah. No problem. Was I up at like, until like 2 a.m. the night before hanging out and partying? Was I up at like 4 a.m.? Was I was doing all the things. I was going all the places. Yeah, no. I mean, honestly, I don't think I've ever been asked to do anything too. I mean, I think it's really fortunate. I really haven't been asked to do anything too crazy that has made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's very lucky.
I would say, obviously, he's a manager. That's really inappropriate.
Not if he's around your same age, though. I mean, I guess it is, but
it is. It's like a hierarchy of bosses, but I didn't feel taken advantage of in that instance.
And he asked. He didn't force. Those are different things.
I mean,
Oh.
I mean, you don't really, you just kind of, you're in the moment. There wasn't like, hey, you want to go make out in the freezer. It was like, we're in the freezer. You get the look.
Oh, you were already in there.
I was getting the fruit.
Oh, I missed that detail. I'm so sorry.
There's a hand.
Oh, girl, like, I missed that. Oh, come flirt with me, man. It is so fun to flirt.
It is so fun. It is so fun.
No one does it anymore. I'm so sad. No, I don't want to say that. I'm not putting that in the universe.
Yeah,
all the men flirt with me. Every single one of them. Good. That's what I put out there. Now I'm going to get annoyed. Okay. Was there ever an incident that made them ask to speak with your manager? Did you ever get feisty with anyone?
Like half the franchisees I used to work with. No, this one particular franchisee tattled on me several times. The one who made me quit.
The one who facilitated your very necessary exit.
Yeah.
What do you mean he tattled on you? Because that makes me want to choke a
email
person.
That's like, girl, this person spoke to me inappropriately.
Who's got this kind? Worry about your business.
I mean, there's
check
no
the
time.
volume.
Here's the thing. The people who are complaining about those things, and this is the hard thing that I learned with working at this particular place.
They're cheating on their wives.
No. Oh. Well, actually,
yeah, I know.
They were out. One of them, I was on Tinder and I found I
of course
freaked out.
Of course.
I freaked out and I was like, I don't know how to get myself off. Like, I don't know how to like remove myself from the situation. Because it was too late. But, I mean, I didn't like swipe on him. I just saw him.
I know. I freaked out when I've seen people in there too.
It's weird.
Like, no,
it's weird when that happens.
Oh yeah, I saw him married. Anyway, keep going.
But anyways, and you know what it is? And this is a thing I would say that I learned about all of my customer service jobs is when somebody is yelling at you or upset about something, 98% of the time, it's not about you and what you're doing. It's about where they're at.
You.
And the reality is like the businesses were struggling. Yeah. The expectations were not being met. Like I understand why they were upset. They just didn't know how to direct their anger. And I think they were in a position where it was too little too late. Their money was all tied up and there wasn't anything they could do about it. I also feel that a lot of people who purchased some of these franchises should not have been sold the franchise.
Yeah. It's like everybody in a house. It's like there are certain people who financially can't handle it, and you should look at their numbers and know that.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the lender's job, right?
Yes.
And it's not my job once I do it. Now, if I am working with close friends or whatever, I'm a little more nosy about their stuff. And I'll tell them, like, I happen to own a house, and I'll tell them what it's like. Expect the first 2 years you own your house, you're going to be, pinching pennies just out of discomfort. Like that's normal. If it happens beyond that, like you have options. Like that's the difference too, is like nothing is permanent, but sometimes you just have to learn to cut your losses. And that's, I think, ultimately what a lot of those franchisees ended up doing.
Oh, that's too bad.
Which was really sad. I remember calling my dad, who was so proud of me the first time I got that office job. And he was like, oh, you're really going to do it. You're going to be in the business world and whatever. But I was being paid like pennies. I think it was like 30,000 for the first 30 or 32, 29 or 30.
You literally qualify for Medi-Cal.
Oh yeah. I mean, now granted, this was many years ago, so that's a thing. But
no, it wasn't. It wasn't 30 years ago.
No.
Like you would have qualified for Medi-Cal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeez,
but
Elise.
Luckily, I did get
bennies. Those sweet bennies that keep you with that job.
It was the first time I really had good benefits,
that's
or
fine.
any really. But you learn.
You do.
And that's what I was going to say. So I called my dad, and I remember because there was a guy who was like, and an older guy who put all his money into buying these franchises.
That makes me want to cry.
It broke my heart.
Yeah,
and I was
can't
like,
handle that.
I am a feeler of things. Like I can be very empathetic.
Yeah.
I can also now separate that a lot better than I used to be able to. And I didn't know that experience. I never had so much money to be able to spend so much money.
Sure.
So to hear a grown man who was like literally beside himself going, I am going to lose everything. It was just a lot for somebody. I mean, I was in my like mid 20s,
How did you navigate that?
I called my dad and I cried a lot. And he was like, Jenny, that's what my family calls me. So there you go. He's like, that's just not something that you have to worry about. That's not your job. Like you need to tell your bosses about what's going on, and they need to be able to tell you how to navigate that, like how to handle it. And they did, they gave us some direction on what to say, but it didn't fix it.
Yeah. Did he lose everything still?
Yeah.
Ugh.
He did.
That doesn't feel good at all.
No, it felt crappy. But you know what also is the reality? Nobody can make you spend that much money.
That's fair.
That's your choice.
Much to your earlier point, no one can make you buy $1 million house.
Respectfully, what kind of a bonehead puts everything in to one basket? I mean, that's something that I learned is you cannot put all your eggs in one basket. It is unwise. You always should have a diversified portfolio, which means some in the housing market, some in stocks, some in savings, some in checking. Like you should have your money everywhere because the minute you put it all in one place, if that one thing goes wrong, you have nothing.
Jen is single, but also polyamorous. We're learning, so that's good. No
financially,
but not all the eggs in one basket.
No,
that's a really good point.
But it's true.
So those franchisees would ask to speak to your manager just to be like, "We're losing everything." So it wasn't like, I know you said that that one idiot snitched and was like, "Jen spoke to me some kind of way" or whatever. But was there ever at Hard Rock where they like go get somebody? Yeah, all the time.
I mean, I actually don't think I got complained about that much.
Oh, I got complained about and I was a host. People there, it was a wild time.
Terrible. Correction. If I did get complained about,
it never got to you.
It definitely, I'm sure got to me. I'm meaning
sure sorry, I meant the information. Yeah. Never got to you.
I probably did, but nothing that stuck to where I really remember it. Like,
yeah, we were busy partying.
Like
time of your life.
I think the worst thing that happened to me was when I was serving a bunch of like probably middle schoolers and stuff, and it was at Universal City Walk, right?
It was a nightmare no matter
what. They dropped you off. They drop their kids off. They leave them there. They're either at the park or at Karl Strauss having a beer,
drinking. Yeah,
exactly, leaving their kids wherever, and they go to pay me, and literally dump out a bag of coins, like the table. This was at Hard Rock, and I can remember it was the table to the right of the exit.
I know exactly where you're talking about.
Where the patio is.
Yeah. Well, it's since been torn down, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
Right. And literally just coins. And it was a little bit humiliating.
Yeah. Were you expected to count them or were they counting them?
No.
Is that how they paid for the whole?
And left.
Was it short? Of course it was short.
I think, no, it actually wasn't short. I think I made like
73
cents.
Oh my God. What a move, because that's something that they learned from their parents, especially because of the age that they were. Well, their parents gave them a bag of coins and said, you can go to them.
Or it was their allowance. Who's to say?
Yeah, but if the parents for sure knew they were going to, Universal City Walk is enormously expensive.
Parents should always know and teach their kids, what's appropriate behavior or not. But also, I don't know about you, but when I was in middle school, I was kind of a little shit.
I would never have paid. I wouldn't have done that.
I would never have done that either.
I was a shit. Everyone's a shit at that age, but I would have never. That's just wasn't. Yeah. That wasn't how I was raised.
It's a certain. It makes you wonder. Like, it's Los Angeles. Is that a certain like air about it? Were they traveling from somewhere else?
Stop making excuses for those shitheads, Jen. They are piles of shit children.
It was pretty humiliating and it felt pretty shitty.
Yes,
and I was pretty angry about it.
I would have been too
at the time. But also, it's like, what are you gonna do?
Well, no. There's nothing. Murder them.
It's not fair. I guarantee that was not my attitude at the time. I'm a much more chill person than I used to be.
So you ran after them with a knife. Good.
Absolutely.
That's what we know to be true.
I had throwing stars.
They're all
ran
dead.
after them.
They're dead. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Do you think, was there ever a time, because like you had mentioned before we were recording that a Yelp review made Joel, the former owner of Library House, say something nice to you. Was Yelp like a big thing throughout your time in customer service?
Never.
Yeah, I think that location was the only place that they were trying. Shout out to Ange.
Ange was great.
Yeah.
Love her.
She won't do the podcast. I've asked her fucking 50 times.
We'll see.
Good.
I'll call her.
Good.
I would say Yelp was not a problem, but I'll tell you what was a problem that did affect my shifts.
Yeah.
Sales.
Do you know that I think that should be illegal. Do you know it's 100%, not? It's not illegal.
I cannot believe that. And you know what? And it's not even sales. At Hard Rock, they had a transition year, and I think this was after you.
Yeah.
They made your shifts dependent on how many glassware you could sell.
Well, I never got out of the host department, and I only worked there for 3 months. So, yeah.
Let me tell you.
That's insane to me.
It was atrocious because there was one guy, and I cannot remember his name right now, and he used to sell the shit out of glassware. And you know how he did it? Unethically. That's what I had a problem with.
He forced them to get the drink.
He would just be like, oh yeah, don't you want to get the big one? And then they get it and it's like $12 or $15. And at the time, that's very expensive for a drink.
Still is.
And I mean, it is, but it's normal
here. Yeah.
It's pretty normal now.
Yuck.
But like, you know, and then they're like, and then he's like, oh, and you keep the glass. And they're like, well, I didn't want that. And it's like, the reality is most people are not going to actually complain about that. You're going to have the people who are going to complain. You got to remove it. And you go, oh, I'm sorry. Most people just suck it up and be like, well, they should have told me. I'm mad about it, you know, and stew about it. For me, I just don't operate like that. I am not. And if I know you're traveling, and part of this is because I went to Hard Rocks all over the world.
Yeah, you don't want to walk around with a heavy glass.
And half the time it doesn't make it. Now, that being said, my family has glasses, souvenir glasses from many Hard Rocks all over the world because they would want to.
Yeah, so do I. I got so many souvenir glasses from that Hard Rock Cafe Hollywood because working there and getting paid $7 an hour, and they'd be like, here, you can have this. And I was like, cool, I guess this is, they're just sitting on a shelf somewhere. I don't even drink. Like, it was so,
I have two. I like them for iced tea.
I mean, okay. What heroes they were for giving us that.
No,
yeah, that pisses me off. That's why I will never, I despise a pooled house for that reason.
Oh,
that it's
gosh,
like,
I would never pull tips.
And Jen, that's restaurants now.
I won't do it.
Almost all restaurants are doing that.
That it's a pull, like pulling your tips. Absolutely not. And you know why? Nobody will work as hard as me.
That's how I feel. And that's why, and it's the point system thing. They're all doing it, by the way. Be glad you're in real estate because they are all doing it. And it's a point system based on like where you rank in and like there's always some one asshole who's like watching paint dry and just holding up the wall with his back. And you're like, you are about to make as much as I'm going to make. And if I'm hustling and I'm going to make, like my roommate came home last night and she was like, one of our servers made $1,000 tonight. And I was like, well, he's not walking with $1,000 because they're a pulled house. And she goes,
that's
I know.
Exactly right.
And that would, I just can't handle it. And it's the same, it's the similar thing of like, if based on sales, that's the amount of shifts I'm getting, there's going to be some dishonest trickster who's going to do exactly what that guy did and therefore get best section, best shifts and is creating a terrible, to use their word, experience for these people who got hoodwinked.
Yeah. That's exactly right. But I think there was a shift. Like when we were first working at Hard Rock, I had the best time. It was a great people. We partied too much, but like then something changed. Actually, what changed is the economy. The economy changed. And suddenly there was an emphasis on selling goods and wares
as opposed to the perishable goods of food.
The experience.
Yeah, the experience. You know?
And that's what changed. And it's a bummer. Like as much as I like mention complain that I don't like people, I love helping people. I love serving people. I really do. And sometimes I do miss serving. Like when I went back to Library Ale House, and I did that actually after I started real estate, because by the way, anybody who's looking to get into real estate, you will not make money for 2 years.
Oof.
Count on that. And if you do, good for you, bonus. But that is generally, if you talk to anybody, that's generally how it is. So I did pick up a serving job at that time. And I remember people were like, man, you're so good at this. Like you must really just love it. Why is this? And I'm like, I like talking to people.
That's it. That's all it is.
That's it. Yeah. Like, I just like talking to people. Now, if you're an asshole, I probably don't like to talk to you.
Sure.
But like generally, most people are like going out because they want to
have an experience with you.
Or like have a good time. I like to make jokes and I like to laugh. And like, if I can make somebody laugh, like that is like,
that's
the
it.
Best day.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, that is how I knew I needed to get out of the service industry.
Because you were no longer having fun.
Wrong. I was so good at it that sounds very braggy. I was so good at it.
No, but that gets to be true. Like, you were doing so well.
There was this old couple I was serving at Frisco's. And this was like long time ago. And that's actually what helped me move to London. Because they said to me, she goes, honey, that's how I was like, I got to do something else. She goes, honey, you're the best server we've ever had.
No, goodbye.
She was like gray haired, beautiful, a lovely couple. It's an old couple, very sweet. And I was like, oh, thank you. And she said, I think you've really found your calling in life.
Goodbye.
And I was
goodbye.
Like, huh.
Which, no shade to people who have actually found that to be a calling. 100%. You can make a good living doing that.
100%.
But if you told me that was where my train stopped on the adventures and the dreams and the whatever, I would end it.
And I think that's the thing, right? It goes to that whole thing of like, I'm always doing 6 or 7 things at once, right? Like and probably to my detriment, right? Am I ever really satisfied with where I'm at? I struggle with that, right?
I'm restless too.
And I need to do better and do greater and work harder and do more and blah, 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 and all these things.
Yeah.
But also, and I think that's where that comes from. But also it's like, that's just the drive that I have.
Sure.
It's, you know, I'm different than other people. Some people are fine with it. And some people, you know, want to have a particular type of life that isn't the same life that I have. I mean, okay, here it goes. I've never been married. I don't have kids. I own my own house. That's very different than most of America. And it's not the path that a lot of women either are expected to take or want to take. And that's okay. Like, do I want to have kids? I don't know, maybe. Am I going to die if I don't? No, I'll probably be fine. That just happens to be the path that I'm on. And that's who I am. And, you know, it doesn't mean I'm better or worse.
No, it's just different. Yeah.
You know, and so when she said that to me, I was like, oh, it's time. So I actually chose to move to London because, you know, I needed to be on my own and I really needed to prove that I could do something all by myself. You know, I was very fortunate. My folks helped me pay for college. You know, that's an advantage that I got over other people. But I also worked during college. You know, I know a lot of friends who never had a job during college.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
That's hard.
Yeah, and it is hard. And it's fine, you know, but like that's the portion that they took care of. And I'm like, but I need to know that I can do this on my own. So I actually got the visa. I booked the trip. I went to London and did not have a place to live, and I did not have a job.
That's psychotic. Good job, you.
Yeah, that's me.
Me too.
And I went to a hostel. The third day in my hostel, or the second or third, maybe third day, I met a guy. His name was Kieran. Kieran from Dublin, Ireland. And he was in, where was he? Yeah. Or he wasn't from Dublin. He was from Derry. Kieran from Derry. And he was there to be a solicitor. And
that's a lawyer for
that's a lawyer,
yeah.
yes.
Keep going.
And he and I decided we were going to get a flat together. So we found a flat in North London, Willesden Green.
Was he hot?
He's cute, but like there was no romance between us.
Oh, it's just business.
Business.
Okay.
Business with Karen from Derry. And the third day I was there, somebody checked into our hostel with an empty suitcase and broke into all of our places.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
All of our
lockers
and walked out with all our stuff.
How did they
my
get
laptop,
it?
Fake passport, because in these hostels you are required to show your passport and ID and stuff.
I had a lock on all of my. He snapped them.
All the locks.
Oh my God.
We
Jen.
happened to not be in there. He stole my laptop, my camera, all of my graduation photos were gone. This is day 3. However, listen to this. My parents, because they're travelers, were like, you need to have these traveler's checks. And I was like, that's stupid, but all right.
My mom did.
And they were like, here's all the numbers. You write them on a separate piece of paper and you put those in your wallet. You keep your wallet on you at all times.
She's
no problem.
Right.
That I did. And I got all my money back.
Wow.
Nothing was really taken from me. It took a second for me to get it. I didn't get my laptop back. I didn't get my camera back. You know.
Did they catch the guy that did it?
No.
How do you guys know it was like an empty suitcase random person then?
They showed us the video of the guy and he walked in and
did they not check his passport?
It was fake. I mean, they don't have any way of verifying.
No, they just hold it.
Say, okay, here's a passport.
When I was in Cambodia, they took my passport and that was very unsettling, but that was the only way you could check into that one hostel.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of new.
I don't think I would have felt Cambodia. When were you in Cambodia?
I'm so well traveled. We'll talk about it later.
No, but hear about that.
Yeah, and most of Southeast Asian hostels would take our passports, so that's wild. It's way safer to not have them do that.
Well, but I mean, depends on who's got it. Okay. I suppose.
But so wait, so he takes everything except for your money.
Everything.
So what?
So I called my folks. And we're like, hey,
guess what?
My mom was like, okay, so they wired me some cash
Bless
just overnight.
them.
The hostel was very understanding, obviously.
The hostel could be liable. The hostel better be understanding.
I mean, liability.
I know. Overseas there.
It's not America.
Turns out.
It's not America.
Turns out.
And so, Yeah. And so they wired me some money. I called, my credit card company and was like, hey, guess what? And they put a stop on everything, sent me out new stuff. I mean, within 24 hours, I had all my stuff back.
That's awesome.
Which was awesome. And then that same trip, by the way, I was running to catch a bus.
You tripped and fell.
I did. And I broke my 2 front teeth.
No, my 2 front teeth. That's so sad.
And it looked like I had taken a beer bottle and
open it with your front teeth.
Opened it with my front teeth because they were like this. So it looked like a little circle.
When do you think you're going to get those teeth back? Are you going to ever get those?
Get
replaced?
Them back?
Yeah, you ever going to get replaced? Those? I'm teasing.
Oh, I was
She's like, I have all my teeth, idiot.
I was like, I bought them immediately.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, which actually is cool because I was on national health insurance.
Yeah, because they actually want, don't get me started.
50 pounds.
That's it.
To get replacement teeth.
Of course.
But I had to call in to my freaking job where I'm answering the phone selling tickets.
Because you don't have teeth.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to come in because
I don't have teeth.
I had a little bit of an accident. So I go and I met this other gal, Mary from Melbourne. And she took me to the hospital afterwards.
Bless her.
And I told them what happened. I was like, I was running to catch the bus and I tripped and fell and fell on my face. And she looks at me and reaches over, grabs my hand. Dear, did you fall or did somebody hit you?
Oh, bless her. She was trying to be a homie.
Oh, I wish somebody hit me.
Yeah, this is far more embarrassing, actually.
Far more embarrassing. And I was like, no, I really fell.
I'm not covering for an ex-boyfriend, I promise.
I swear I would tell on them.
Oh, God.
But, and all that happened within the first probably month and a half I was there.
That's so wild. That's why we travel, though.
Yeah.
In that chaos.
And also I was there at the bar I worked at because I got a job and they did karaoke on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which was my ultimate dream job. The manager of the bar, when I first got there, he hired me and then all of a sudden he disappeared. Apparently he was thrown in jail for beating up his girlfriend.
Can't do that.
Cannot do that, but he came back
as
soon as he got out of jail.
Well, isn't that nice?
Also, I was there. Somebody threw a brick through the window.
Ma'am.
And almost hit this old man.
No.
Yes, who was practically blind. Who would come every day.
No, I can't have you finish this. He didn't get hit.
You said he did not get hit.
Okay.
He didn't get hit. He had a little glass on the side. But it would be so sad because it would be this little old man and it was a bar, right? An old English pub.
Yeah.
And they come and he just spent his last every day 2 pence. That's all he had and he would sit and drink all day. And it's it was tragic. It was so hard to be there for that. But also it was the best job. Except for when I had to carry the keg.
Oh God, that's brutal.
Up. No, that was terrible.
Because their stairwells aren't wide enough.
No, they weren't wide enough.
Why did you tell us that sad old man story? Let's get back to these questions. Understand the assignment, Jen. It's not to make me cry. Okay, what is the last straw that got you out of any of these jobs? Was it ever flip a table, I'm done? Because we know it was Tattletale that got you out of yogurt pizza land.
Oh, because I don't think I finished that story. I went and told the guy, and he said, "That's just how it is."
Wait. Okay. You went and told which guy?
Back the story. So I told the VP, I can't work with this guy anymore, and I passed it off. What I didn't finish saying is, normally they say, okay, I'll be the main point of contact. We'll have an alignment call. In case you can't see, I'm doing air quotes. Alignment call to let them know they can't talk to you like that. But the response was actually, well, that's just how he is. And it was a light bulb.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what? If this were my business,
I'd take this on as a serious issue.
Thing, but that sounds like a you problem.
Yep.
Bro.
See ya.
It's not a me problem.
Yeah.
And I wrote my 2 weeks notice that night.
That a girl.
And turned it in the next day. That was it. Well, that and then the old lady saying I found my calling.
Goodbye. So aggressively
Had
goodbye.
A couple catalysts.
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah.
Have you ever told a customer to F off or been mouthy with a customer?
I'm sure I have.
I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Do I remember?
No.
I don't like to remember bad things.
What a way to deal with trauma. How many bodily fluids have been on your person whilst you were on the clock? You bartended, so somebody barfed.
Nobody's ever barfed on me.
You lucky bastard.
Never.
Wow. Blood?
No. Oh, just that guy from the bar. But no. I've been very lucky.
Yeah, you really have.
I guess.
Yeah, I
I never really thought about that.
I'm trying to get fluids on me.
Yeah.
Except for, okay.
Yep.
Do you tip?
I prepared for this question.
Okay, here we go.
Absolutely, I tip. I am conflicted today.
Okay.
Because everything asks for a tip.
It makes me homicidal.
But this is what I remember. Starbucks has always welcomed tips for a very long time. And I always tip $1 without fail. So anytime I'm picking up food or a drink or something, McDonald's, wherever, I at minimum give $1. I have for myself, and please don't come at me, I try to give at least 10% on pickup food because
That's reasonable.
What's
That's
that?
Reasonable.
I feel like that's reasonable.
If you're going to pick up $200 worth of food and the person didn't take it to your table, that's still $20.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. I try to tip 10% on pickup food at least.
Some people don't tip on pickup at all, Jen.
I know. And I'm conflicted because I'm like, what are they doing? But I'm like, I've been there. Like, it's hard not to, because I don't know if it's still like this, but at Hard Rock, if you took a to-go order, you're still tipping out on that order.
Fuck.
Did you know that?
I did not, because it counts as your sales?
Yes.
That sucks.
Yes.
That really sucks. I didn't know that.
That is. And so I always think about that when I'm like, ugh.
That's why the bar should always take the to-go orders. It should always, because they are clearing
agree.
so much more money.
So much more money. Which now, even with bars, it's like you tip $1 a drink, or that used to be. Now it's $2.
Yeah.
But I'm like, is it now $3? I don't really know.
Ugh, it makes me homicidal.
I'm just like, we all know it's not hard to crack open a beer.
Yeah.
Like, come on. That's why I love bartending.
It's fun.
It's fun. And also you get to talk to people and like hear everybody's sad stories and great stories.
Now, are you ever not going to tip? Like, is there a situation where you won't?
Probably not.
Really?
Probably not.
What if someone is super terrible to you?
I think there's only been really one time. And actually, recently, and I thought about this because I knew I was coming on and I had to think about this. But when it happened, I immediately thought of you in this podcast. I was at Casa Vega.
I go there. I've gone there a handful. I was just there last week. I've only ever gotten exceptional service except for this last time I was there.
I wonder if it's the same guy.
Okay, I'm going to beep this out. Is it a white dude named Josh?
No,
Oh,
it wasn't.
Okay.
It was a different dude. He argued with me.
What you mean?
I placed an order. My friends all heard me place the order. He said, okay. And then he told me I didn't order. When I said, hey, I'm just wondering where my food is.
That's insane that one person at the table would not order and everyone else did. His argument doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And on top of that, then he brings us a second round of drinks because it was happy hour and I'm with some girlfriends. We're having a nice time. He doesn't know that I'm in the service industry. I'm always going to tip. That's just how I roll for the most part.
Yeah.
Granted, it was very busy.
Sure. It always is there.
It is oftentimes busy. But he brings us these drinks and I'm like, these are not what we ordered. And he's like, oh yeah, they're the same. I'm like, they are not the same drink.
Oh, Jen, I would have been so mad. Was he high? What was it?
No.
Because usually the servers there have been there for 100 years and they care.
He was definitely newer and I could tell. But also, I really was just like...
He wasn't a white dude?
No.
Because the
brunette, but he was Hispanic.
The server, was he younger?
He was younger.
Yeah, there's a crop of a couple new people there who I'm like, oh, you just don't, because the servers there that were there before were like 50-year veterans, kind of Musso and Frank's level.
Absolutely.
Like they cared so much.
Have been there for so long, but usually they do the inside. We were sitting outside.
Oh, I didn't know there was an outside.
There's a whole back outside patio. It's great. I love what they've done to the place.
Wait, so you're like, these are not our drinks, and he insists that they are.
He was like, oh no, they just ran out of cups.
Literally, it's a handheld device that they use to ring everything in. Dude. All you have to do is highlight the drinks and hit a repeat. He forgot
about them, and I think just grabbed whatever was on the bar.
You can't do that.
No, you cannot. And there are certain things, and I know I have had these experiences that I just don't put in the bank to remember because I have a bunch of shit I have to remember that are actually worth it. When things like this happen, I get angry and it starts in my toes. And there's a heat that rises and my entire face will
turn the redhead in you.
Beet red. So red. And all of my friends were like,
uh-oh,
can we just...
Your Hulk monster smash.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, when I did stand up, I had a joke about that. But yeah, and the whole... I just couldn't. And but also, I wasn't going to sit around and argue with him.
So you say these are not our drinks. He insists they are.
He's
instead
like,
of saying
the glasses, we just ran out of the other glasses. And I was like, you know what? Fine.
See, instead of saying, what he should have said was, oh, and said what each individual drink was. That's a pineapple, blah, blah, blah. That's a blah, blah, blah.
You know what the drinks were?
What?
Margaritas.
Oh, you can't mess that up.
You'd think so, but there are different kinds of margaritas.
What
right?
kinds did he bring? Oh, the spicy,
the regular, and the blah, blah, blah. But we got like the premium margaritas, and I know he brought us like just the real regulars, but I guarantee I can guarantee you I did. This is how it goes. I'm like, I guarantee you he's going to charge us for the, and we got this. And sure enough, that's what happened. What are you going to do? Argue with it? Yes, it's a margarita. Is it the margarita we ordered? Probably not. Also, here I am getting all
worked up,
annoyed about it when it's like, it's not that big of a deal.
How important is it? Yeah.
You know,
but I chaps my ass though, because it's like you are working for tips. If I tell you it's the wrong drink, like I'm not here to, I don't want to think about you. I'm not here to argue with you.
No.
Some people do go to restaurants to do that.
Totally.
I'm not that person.
Totally. And here's the catch-22 of it all. As a server, you know that there are people out there, and I don't know about you, but when I was a server, I was ready for the fight all the time.
Because you have to be, especially out here.
You're like prepared. And I was constantly, and I still do this with everything, have fake arguments in my head ready for the argument when it's like, there isn't a need for it, Jennifer.
Yeah, but sometimes there is. Okay, good. So,
but I still tipped him.
Oh, Jen. All right, Jennifer. Have you ever been stiffed?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Remember it just happens.
I mean, it happens not so often, but like enough times that it's like, if I kept track of,
you'd go crazy.
And most of the time, to be honest with you, it's either young kids or people who are not from the U.S.
That's
very rarely for me have I been stiffed on purpose.
I have a lot.
Big group. Big groups will stiff, and it's always that one friend who comes out.
I got it, everybody.
Yeah, or who's like, oh yeah, I gave my money, bye.
Yep, and who didn't?
No, they didn't. And I'm like, nah, you're not leaving here. You're short $10. Somebody in this group, cough it up.
Yeah.
Because I'm not
paying for this.
No, which I will say this. I really have been fortunate enough. I've never been at a job that's like, oh, you're going to pay if this doesn't happen.
Someone just told me recently, and I don't know, I think it was a guest on the podcast, that it is illegal to do that. I didn't know that, but I have yet to look it up.
It may be illegal now.
Yeah, but I've paid for walkouts. Oh. So I was like, well, I wish I would have known that at some point. Anyway.
If that had been at a job, I would have walked out on the job.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, absolutely not. Bye.
I've interviewed people that have done that.
Yeah.
Have you ever been fired from a customer service job? Customer service job. I feel like I leave there. Oh, okay.
Have I ever been fired? I don't think so.
Oh, okay, hero. Okay, and then final question.
I just quit first.
That's the thing. You can see it's on fire.
I mean,
you leave the building when it's in fuego. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't think I have.
Worst customer you've ever interacted with, or an archetype of who the worst customer would be?
Archetype for who the worst customer is, the 40, 50 plus man who thinks he knows it all. Oh, that's my opinion. Sorry. I love men. They're wonderful. A lot of good purposes. That has been my least favorite interaction. And we'll leave it at that.
Okay. Well, on that note, we're going to move on to the good stuff. We hope you saved room for dessert. I don't know why. At one point when I started doing this, I started recording it like that, where I say room for dessert. I don't know why. I still do. And now every time it's just ingrained.
Okay. Now say it like you'd actually ask a table.
Oh, we hope you save some good. We hope you save room for dessert.
Did you save some room for dessert?
Did you save some of dessert? Like I'm babysitting? Little baby wants dessert? Good. I'm keeping that in.
Do it.
What's the nicest thing a customer has done for you whilst you were working?
I think the compliment that the old people gave me.
Oh, so you actually like it?
Listen. I appreciate the fact that somebody takes time out of their day to tell me I did a good job.
I totally agree with that. I need that.
I do. And I appreciate that so much. I also had a client who gave me a gift.
Bless.
After we closed on their house, and it was so thoughtful.
That's really lovely.
It's really lovely. I give all of my clients a closing gift.
You should. A good real estate agent does that.
And it'll be branded, so you'll remember me when you want to buy or sell again.
Not a girl.
But the truth is like anybody who's taking time out of their day to tell me I did a good job, I appreciate it.
Yeah, because they could just not do that.
Totally.
Like that option is on the table.
Getting a Yelp review is great. Like it's cool.
Can be. Sometimes it can be terrible.
I mean, well, if it's a good one.
Yeah, that part. What's the best tip you've ever gotten financial, like the best financial tip? Do you remember?
Tipped $500 once.
Jesus, for what?
Good service.
Where was that?
It was at Hard Rock.
Who was it? A celebrity or something?
Nope.
$500.
No celebrity has ever tipped me well.
I can't say the same. And I was just about to name names. Channing Tatum can
not tip you well any day of the week.
Oh no, he did. He absolutely tipped me terribly. And no, he can't. I was about to say he can jump off a cliff, but that's not nice. That's not a nice thing I say. We're in the nice part.
Yes.
Okay, that's the best tip. Best time you have ever had at work, looking back. Don't include real estate.
Yeah, no. I mean, every day is the best day for real estate.
I knew you were going to fucking give me some canned response. So give me something.
Best day at work. I think honestly,
that was loud. Sorry. Drinking my water. No, I was. I drank my water very loudly. Sorry, everyone.
I think the best day at work was probably, oh man, you know what? I've had such an array of jobs. I would say leaving selling tickets and running over to go see a show and hopping on the tube, you know, and seeing a show for free. And I know this is like, doesn't age well, but I got to meet Kevin Spacey, you know, and at the time it was really cool.
We didn't know he was raping kids, so that's fine.
I mean, you know, sorry, I didn't know at the time.
We didn't know.
You know, American Beauty at the time was one of my top movies. And so to meet him, and he's really involved, or was at the time, with one of the theater groups, and that was really cool for me. You know, also just like having regulars come and see you at a bar.
It is
like people
it can
that come
be fun.
back and see you.
Specifically came for you.
Specifically came for you to just hang out. I mean, kind of sad, but also
no, you're a good time. It's a good hang.
Yeah, but I mean, it's nice to have people who look forward to seeing you.
I agree with that.
You know, I think going to work and singing and dancing, you know,
it's pretty great.
It was pretty great. It was pretty easy, and like life was easy back then. There's like, you know, I didn't have a mortgage.
Oh Lord, here we go. Here goes the boomer complaints. I'm in Jed's enormous house right now.
I don't have a driveway and trash cans.
Okay, Jen, keep complaining. What is the best lesson you've personally learned from working in customer service?
I mean, it's not about the burger and fries.
Wow. No one has ever said that. That's
really?
I'm writing that down.
Oh, I'm shocked. That is by far the best like life lesson I've ever learned, which is it's not about the burger and fries. And when somebody's upset, sometimes even with that dude who was like arguing with me, and I really wanted to just tell him how to be a better server, because that's all I want to do is like tell everybody how to be better. I'm working on it.
Fun to be your friend.
Super fun. No, but like, you know, I have also been there. I have also been there when there's other shit going on.
That part.
You know? And it's like you just never know at the end of the day what somebody's dealing with. And if I can like go through life and be like, I did the best I can on my end and there's literally nothing I can do. And if I can wholeheartedly say that, then I know it's not about me.
That part.
You know?
Yeah.
And I've been there. I am 100% sure I've been an a-hole to somebody and said something I shouldn't have where it was not about them. And hopefully they gave me the grace to be like, you know, I don't really think this is about me and whatever's going on here.
Not my business.
You know, hopefully you're doing okay.
Yeah.
And that's all I want. I just want to be treated the way that other people treat me.
That's kind.
Or vice versa.
I got you.
However you say it.
We understood.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice you would give to customers who interact with customer service workers?
Just think about what it's like to do their job. Would you want to do it?
Yeah, truly, if you wanted to feed yourself, you could have stayed home.
Yeah. I mean, the question is like, if you're out, would you want to do that? That's, I mean, again, it feels simple.
Try it. Try this on for size.
Yeah. You know, just treat people how you want to be treated. It sounds very basic.
You would think.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jennifer.
It's me.
It's you. How can people buy houses from you? Where can people reach out to you? Tell them how to do it.
Well, Jennifer Brookley, realtor on Instagram and Facebook.
2 N's in Jennifer?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, Jennifer. Yeah.
JENNIFER BROOKLEY realtor.
She can't spell that word. That's okay.
Yeah, no.
RQZYT at Instagram.
Right. And also I have a phone number.
We got a pretty,
You can also go to my website,
Yeah, let's do that.
realtorjenb.com.
that's no shade to our audience. There's just, fortunately, a lot of you. So
Don't be crazy.
Yeah, well,
Don't
I love our audience. Our audience is not crazy. They're amazing and they're generous and they're wonderful.
crazy in a way that we don't like.
Yeah. Be crazy in the fun
Be
way.
crazy in
Be
a
crazy
good
like we're
way.
funny. Yeah. Okay. And you have houses on the market currently in the great state of California?
I have a listing coming up. It's not officially out yet, so legally I can't really.
On a fish.
Yeah.
On a fish.
Until you list it, you're not allowed to advertise it. It's all these like rules.
Look at you being a good rule follower.
I know.
Fun
it's
at
a
parties.
problem.
Jennifer Brookley.
I
Fun
do
at parties.
have constantly things, on and off the market. So, reach out. I will say this thing coming up is under 300,000 in the city of Los Angeles, which is pretty unheard of.
Well,
But just remember, you get what you pay for, but it is available. So reach out.
we're going to chat off the mic.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, folks, we're going to drop your checks now. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to help us out here at Service from Hell, we'd love to have you subscribe, rate, and or review the show wherever you listen. It will help us reach more people that need to be schooled on the art of being kind and will be catharsis for those of us still working in the industry. If you want to get in touch with us here at Service from Hell directly, send us your receipts to servicefromhellpodcast@gmail.com. I swear I read all the emails. We do love hearing from you. Remember, if you can't afford a tip, you can't afford to go out. So don't be garbage and be good to people. It's easier that way. Jennifer Brookley, my friend, your new realtor. This was delightful. Thank you for finally agreeing after I've asked you so many times and you finally said yes. She's making a face. We had a miscommunication where I was waiting to hear from her and she thought she was waiting to hear from me. And I just, I'm so glad it worked out.
Me too. I'm going to get you a calendar book.
Oh, I'm going to choke her. I'm going to choke her, folks.
No, thank you so much for having me. This was a blast.
Jennifer.
Always good to hang out.
Yeah, girl. All right, Jennifer Brookley. Everyone, have her sell and or help you buy your new home. I'm not going to go back into my realtor voice, but thanks for listening, folks. Good night.
Ta-ta.